Stack Overflow has released their annual survey results for 2024, and one stat has everyone talking: job satisfaction. Only 20.2% of people have explicitly stated that they are happy at work. The rest, 32.1%, are explicitly not happy, and everyone else, 47.7%, are just complacent. Before we get into my opinions, let's take a look at some of the top reasons why software engineers are unhappy. The top three are, unsurprisingly, the same across all three groups. Number one, improving the quality of code and developer environments. This translates to how good is the developer experience at your job. Are you fighting your tooling? Is the project more complicated than it needs to be? Number two, learning or using new tech. This is obvious. We're in tech. The industry moves very quickly, and we love us some shiny tool syndrome. And number three, building environment and architecture. This roughly translates to being respected enough to be given more serious responsibility and having a sense of career progression and not feeling like you're just a code monkey. What are some of the actual things people hate in the workplace? Well, I found this Reddit post where people were giving their opinions. An engineering manager said, "The relentless Chinese water torture of agile sprint cycle exacts a psychological toll for its efficiency and productivity. There's a reason this work has to pay well." If you've been watching my videos, you know that I don't hate Agile in its pure form, but I absolutely hate Scrum. The more that I worked with Scrum, the more I realized it was designed to squeeze as much work out of you and every other engineer in the team as possible, and not actually to get the project to a successful outcome. Somebody else said, software is the kind of field where you could have someone making 250K per year and pissed off that you're not making 450K. There's this saying that envy is the thief of joy. With Blind and Levels.fyi, there's a lot of flexing and bragging. You can't escape it. It's everywhere in our industry, and it has been a plague. One person was complaining about the return to office and open offices. This one I absolutely hate. I can't focus at all with any sound or motion around me. I get way more work done in a small room with no windows. Like if I was in a jail cell, you best believe I'd be super productive. I'd rather take a pay cut than go back into the office. Someone else said that upper management rarely understands what engineers do, and we're forced to meet absurd metrics that don't actually measure real productivity. I've been in this situation a lot. An example is I've had a non-tech leader that was trying to measure the lines of code as a productivity metric and then got mad when the project was taking too long to deliver and things were breaking all over the place. Gee, I wonder why that is. You know how to write the most amount of code in the shortest amount of time possible? Write absolutely trash code. People do this all the time trying to game the system. And there's just a bunch of other stuff like politics, crappy coworkers, crappy work-life balance. Despite all that, the vast majority of people, 47.7%, are complacent. And I actually think that this is the way it should be and what you should be aiming for. We focus a lot on mental health and happiness and not letting our work control us like it did the last generation. So much so that we look at this 47.7% and group these people with the unhappy group. At least that's what people on social media are doing. But actually, complacent and boring is great because you know what that means? Things are stable, predictable, not chaotic. Your stress levels aren't really spiking because your project's not changing directions every 2 weeks. You're not constantly working overtime, waking up in the middle of the night to sev 1 errors. It's probably not toxic where you're at. Your coworkers are tolerable. You can disconnect after work, and you can probably take a vacation without worrying about what you're coming back to. The list goes on and on and on. Nothing's great, but you know what? Nothing's really that bad either. I've been working in tech for almost 17 years, and trying to get into this 20% happy group is exponentially harder than getting into the complacent group. If you ask me, I feel like a lot of people who end up in the unhappy group are the ones who aren't in the happy group, but keep comparing themselves to them. Don't try to force your path into this 20% of happy engineers. Strive to be one of the 47.7% of complacent engineers and just find real joy somewhere else, like a hobby or a side project, or spending time with family, or something you're actually passionate about. In time, you'll realize that things aren't too bad and that some time ago, you already made it into the happy group and you just didn't realize it. That's all for this video. Bye.